Get back to Iran. And moments ago, the president issuing a new warning to Tehran posted the following on Truth Social. Here we go. From this point forward, anytime the Islamic Republic of Iran shoots at a ship in the Strait of Hormuz, whether it be a missile, rocket, drone, or any other device or weapon, the United States will bomb and destroy one bridge or power plant, including those located next to or in the capital city of Tehran. Dan Hoffman here to react. And Dan, good day to you. What do you take from that message now as to what's next?
Yeah, well, I think the president has laid down the gauntlet on this one and made it very clear that...
Get back to Iran. And moments ago, the president issuing a new warning to Tehran posted the following on Truth Social. Here we go. From this point forward, anytime the Islamic Republic of Iran shoots at a ship in the Strait of Hormuz, whether it be a missile, rocket, drone, or any other device or weapon, the United States will bomb and destroy one bridge or power plant, including those located next to or in the capital city of Tehran. Dan Hoffman here to react. And Dan, good day to you. What do you take from that message now as to what's next?
Yeah, well, I think the president has laid down the gauntlet on this one and made it very clear that that if Iran continues to try to disrupt trade in the Strait of Hormuz, that we're going to take action against them. I'm not that sanguine that Iran is going to stop trying to disrupt trade. They're trying to raise the costs of the United States prolonging this war. That's one way for them to do it. The other way that they've been doing it is by targeting our bases in the region, including in Jordan, where 4 of our servicemen were killed.
And Dan, you've served in that region, and so you have a special knowledge and understanding of it. And you've talked about the fact that sometimes we have to reassess that what we're doing is working, not working. We have to be honest about it. Where do you see us potentially pivoting here with what the strategy's been so far?
Yeah, I just look back to the war that Iran and Iraq fought in the 1980s. Over 1 million casualties, chemical weapons. Iran and Iraq never came to the peace table until Iran was too exhausted to fight, and their supreme leader said he had to drink from the poison chalice and agree to a deal that he probably wouldn't have wanted to. I think Iran's threshold for pain is pretty high here, and what they want to do is reduce or eliminate altogether U.S. influence in the region, and that's what they're trying to do. For the United States, I think the question for the president is to look to his intelligence community and determine where we can influence Iran's behavior. So far, our military strikes have been extraordinarily successful at degrading Iran's military capability. Yes, they retain enough missiles and drones to disrupt trade in the Strait of Hormuz, but we have destroyed Iran's military. But that hasn't changed the fact that they aren't interested in negotiating in good faith. And the question is whether we have the military capability to induce them to do that, or whether we're going to have to take on the task of destroying Iran's weapons of mass destruction through military means and not pursue negotiations.
Okay, so we'll see whether it's a power plant or a bridge next, or whether that's just a threat for the moment. Meanwhile, you got Pickaxe Mountain. For our audience, the Israelis believe this is where the centrifuges have been hidden. Came up yesterday with Secretary Hegseth.
Do we have the ability to whatever is underneath Pickaxe Mountain?
Senator, a lot of our capabilities are classified, but if anybody in the world can reach anything on God's green earth, it's the United States military, the most powerful military in the world. It's all about options and trade-offs.
Dan, would you expect this?
I do. I think this is a key intelligence requirement. Iran has reportedly been installing centrifuges there. The question is whether they've tried to deliver any of their highly enriched uranium that they might get access to, although that's certainly difficult to Pickaxe Mountain. The additional concern that I would have is that if Iran follows the same playbook that they have with their missiles and drones, then they may seek to disperse these facilities where they install centrifuges and seek to enrich uranium. And so I think it's not just Pickaxe Mountain. We need to be really watching very carefully, using all of our intelligence collection, CIA human intelligence, NSA signals intelligence, overhead reconnaissance, everything we've got, along with our allies in the region, so that we ensure that Iran is not installing centrifuges in other places. It's a large country.
Yeah, and then the question becomes if it would require troops on the ground and operation there. Dan Hoffman, always appreciate your insights. Thank you, sir.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.
Yeah, what's good, people? Back again with another one. Salute to all the workers, man. Salute all the workers. Yes, sir. Hope everybody having a beautiful day, being productive. You know what I'm saying? Getting to the bag, man. It's a lot to unpack here. It's a whole lot to unpack. Now, the purpose of me playing that clip, okay, I could be on here all day talking about geopolitical, uh, you know, agendas and news and, just politics in general, right? But today I want to discuss how global conflicts cause domestic inflation, right? How it goes on around the world, right? World governments, wars, how it affects uh, domestic inflation, how it affects the modern day citizen, right? The average Joe Schmo, right? Just working his 9 to 5, trying to take care of his family, you know what I'm saying? Pay his bills. He's just trying to get by. That's what I really want to focus on. Um, at the end of the day, right? Wars are, or conflicts, I should say, right? Um, I choose my words very, carefully, right? So I didn't say global war, right? I said global conflict. A lot of conflicts have been fought over decades, right? That we've been told or led to believe or taught that they were wars when they were really conflicts. Um, they have a war manual, right? I encourage everybody to go read it. Every man should um, at least overstand the foundational blocks of government, right? And military, right? Military procedures, military protocol, right? Warfare, if you will, modern warfare. There's rules to engagement, right? There's certain things you can do, there's certain things you can't do, right? But as we know, rules were made to be broken, right? Um, and if rules are made, right, who made them? Who were they made for? And do they benefit both parties? That kind of gets into contract law, right? Contracts, agreements, right? Covenants. It's different words, but they all mean the same thing, right? So we agree, right, that certain things are unacceptable, even in war, right? There's certain things that are off limits. Now we all know that in a perfect world, it sounds good, but we know that people don't follow the rules. People gonna do what they want to do, right? Which means everybody's not gonna follow the rules, right? And if you're not gonna follow the rules to the game, then you're fucking up the game because you're not playing fair. And if you're not playing fair, there's no reason for anyone else to play fair. Now, Tony, what's good? Big John in the building. Salute, salute. Um, I want to show y'all something. Because I know my people are visual, right? I want to show y'all something. Yeah, Tony. You know, I ain't spreading it, Tony. I'm just spreading enlightenment to the fact that most of this shit is propaganda, Tony. Honestly, you know what I mean. I just want the you know the young brother in the hood in the trenches or your regular 9 to 5 guy. I want them to know why they paying $5, you know, for a gallon of gas. I want them to know why a Snickers is now $4.75. I want them to know why ground beef is $20 a pound. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to make it make sense for them, right? Um, to the best of my abilities, right? Um, but if you look at this graph, y'all, this shows you, right? It breaks down, and this is just an example, right? Um, just for educational purposes only, right? This is not legit. It's just to paint a picture in your mind, right? And how global conflicts, right, affect domestic inflation, right? So, y'all got to bear with me because I could barely see. Okay, now the region that they're using in the diagram is Kilimanjaro, right? Basically saying civil war breaks out in Kilimanjaro, right? Civil war, you fighting amongst each other, right? Now you see everything else in the graph, right? That's the global conflict. You got war going on, right? Different countries fighting each other, they fighting other countries, other nations, whatever. It trickles down. That's the point I'm trying to get y'all to see is how it trickles down, right? So that's the events, right? If you look in the first slide, you got the global conflict events, right? Remember, these are fictional examples. Say that for the AI. These are fictional examples, right, of global conflict events, right? So these are different events that, let's just say, hypothetically, are happening around the world, right? Now, the one I want to point out, right, is how the price of oil production, right, the distribution, not the actual production of the oil, but the distribution of it, the sale of it, right, the trade of it. See how that drops? Then you have a naval blockade, right? I guess that's Azov, and the Azov Sea, right? Then you look at the grain exports, right? They've stopped. It's plummeted, right? So that's basically what they call an embargo. You can't get no goods coming in and you can't ship nothing out, right? So you're stuck. You can't do any international trade, which means you have to maintain what you have because you can't sell nothing and you can't trade or barter or bring nothing in. So that's basically embargo, right? Now, if you go over to the next slide, right? The transmission of mechanisms, right? The flow diagram, how the money and the trade and, you know, the different products and resources, right? How that money flows through and you see what I'm saying? In times of war, keep that in mind. Or conflict, I'm sorry, conflict. Shipping freight costs through the roof. Factory and energy costs through the roof, right? So that means the cost of operations, right? The cost to operate these infrastructures and these systems, it goes up, right? Inflation. Supply chain distribution, right? Oil, right? Different resources, right? Straits of Hormuz, that's what they were just talking about in the video. It's a reason why conflicts happen, right? And when you really start digging, you realize that the majority of the time it has to do with resources, not money. People always say, oh, it's always about money. It's always about money. No, it's about power and resources. He who holds the resources holds the power. I don't give a fuck what nobody on this platform or any other one is talking about. If they are not, if that's not what they're telling you, and that's not the narrative that they coming from, they're lying. They're telling you some bullshit, or they don't know what the fuck they talking about. People always, oh, money talks, money talk. Money has no fucking value, right? On top of that, what we call money here in the States is actually Federal Reserve notes. It's not money. House Joint Resolution 192. Google it. We ain't seen money since 1932, 1933, when they instituted the Federal Reserve Act. But they took the gold away, right? Then they brought in these promissory notes. It's not money. It's not backed by anything. I.e., the Trump notes. The Trump notes will be backed by gold, but that's a whole nother topic for another day. But where was that? Slide 2. So supply chains, right? The distribution. So this is showing you, all this is showing you is how the conflicts, right? And the cost of, because basically what's going on is the US government is going into other countries, right, to get resources. Look at the track record. They set up operation here. Now they just celebrated 250 years, right, of their independence from Great Britain, right? Their sovereignty, so to speak, right? They just celebrated that 250 years, right? Now we know that said government is not the original government, organic republic of this land. If you don't know that, you need to go do your homework. So it shouldn't be surprising that the same people that came here and colonized this land are now trying to, or are in other, excuse me, other countries colonizing them. It's about the resources. Money don't mean shit if nobody, okay, if nobody got up and went to work, if nobody purchased anything, if nobody spent these Federal Reserve notes, they lose value. It's a debt-based system. So the money has to flow. It's got to keep moving, right? Currency, current. It's all maritime shit. Admiralty and maritime. So it's called currency. Current. It's flowing. It has to keep flowing. So you go to the bank. You have a river bank, right? You go to the bank, right? You put your money in the bank, or your notes in the bank. What does the bank do? It keeps the flow, right? It directs the flow of the currency. But where is it going? I ain't gonna get too deep on y'all. But anyway, I just wanted y'all to see, right? Have a visual of how all this breaks down, right? How it just trickles down from the top all the way down to where, you know, you get off work and you need to get some gas, and you know, it's $4.80 for fucking 87. Now, I remember when I was a young lad, shit, you could get 93 for about $1 and some change a gallon, right? And you had old heads back then that was complaining that was too much. So this just goes to show you, right? Because it was a time when, you know, my parents or even their parents, they might tell you, shit, a gallon of gas was 45 cents. It's like, god damn, what the fuck? When was that? The 1800s, you old motherfucker? But it just seems so far-fetched. Why? Because we've been living, right, and dealing with inflation, most of us our whole lives, right? If you was born, I say at least in the late 70s and up, you pretty much been seeing the rise of inflation like rapidly, right? Because it happens so quick. We don't even really, you know what I'm saying? We don't feel it or peep it until it drastically increases, right? So if you paying $2 and some change for a gallon of gas, and then next week it go up to double that, you know what I'm saying, $4, you're gonna notice that, and you're gonna feel it, right? So my point of this is to just shed light on how just world politics, right, and these conflicts that are going on, how and why they are negatively affecting the citizens, right, the regular everyday people. Because it's not just us, y'all. If we going through it, just think of these other countries that's going through the conflict, what they going through. But we, the people, hold the power, right? Think about that. Really think about that. If you put somebody in a position, right? I'm gonna give you an example of what I'm talking about. You own a company, right? You on the board of directors. Y'all all agree, okay, we're gonna make this person the CEO, right? And they're over this whole operation, right? They're the chief executive officer. So anything that happens dealing with this corporation is their fault at the end of the day, because you running the whole show. So I don't give a fuck if the janitor made a mistake. I don't give a fuck if the CFO or the COO made a mistake. All these people are under you. So that means you at the end of the day, it's your fault. Whatever happens is your fault, because you're the chief. Now, let's say that said chief, right, makes a decision that not only negatively affects everybody up under them, but also affects the board of directors, right? The owners, the investors. That's a problem, and that's an issue, right? So what's going to happen? Because the United States is a corporation. So this analogy I'm giving you ain't even really an analogy. It's really literally what the fuck is going on. If the chief executive officer is fucking up, he's costing the business money, right? And if this continues, we've been in the red the last 3 fucking quarters. We in the 4th quarter, and it's not looking good. The projections are we're gonna be in the red this quarter too. That's not a good year, right? So what needs to happen? That CEO got to go. We got to get somebody in here, right? That can do the job, because we trying to win. Now, how it usually goes is the board of directors, right? The CEO, all the managerial and the high ups, right? The capstones of the pyramid, if you will. They're usually eating good, right? At the detriment of everybody at the bottom, right? The base of the pyramid, the base, the foundation, the laborers, right? The workers, the ones that actually give up the sweat equity, right? That's needed for these corporations to run and thrive. So the board of directors, all the executives, they can take, trips to Bora Bora and, go to Epstein Island and all that shit, right? And turn up and party. But yeah, I just wanted, so you got slide 3, we keep it moving. Domestic inflation, right? I can't even see. I think it says impact. I can't see. I got my logo over it. But domestic consumer price index, right? Domestic, this is home. This is U.S., right? Consumer, that's you, right? So-called American citizen. So it has the breakdown of the increase, right? So y'all see the numbers. I can't really, it's kind of small on my screen. I'm on my phone, but y'all see the numbers, right? I put that up there so y'all can kind of have a visual representation of what's going on. And like I said, this is just for educational purposes. A lot of the terminology that I'm using, a lot of the things I'm talking about, The majority of us don't know. We might have an idea, or we might have heard it before, or I don't know, watched a podcast, or somebody else's content, and they talk about this type of stuff. But the average so-called American citizen has no clue how government is structured and how it's supposed to work. There's no, and how I know this is because I've been told since a child, right? If you want change, you have to vote. You're telling me that I can vote for a candidate in whatever office, right, that they running for, and my vote and everyone else's vote can put them in this office, right? They get elected. They're now an elected official. They were elected into this office, which means they're only in that office, right? They only have this position. They only have this authority that has been granted to them from the people. So at what point now does this person now have the authority to tell me what the fuck to do? Because they're supposed to be working for we the people, but they working for we the us. They're supposed to be working for we the people. They working for themselves. They working for we the us. So basically, everything that's going on at the end of the day, what I want y'all to grasp is that most of the shit is bullshit, right? The majority of things that I see when it comes to think about this. I would say, in my opinion, we have footage. And y'all can look this up, right? There is footage from pretty much every war, so-called war, or conflict. Um, I want to say back to maybe Pearl Harbor. It's footage, like a movie. So you just got motherfuckers with camera. You got a camera crew in the middle of war. Like, it's bullets flying and shit. You got motherfuckers with cameras and cell phones recording and shit. Like, am I tripping? I don't think we think about that. That video I just showed y'all, and anybody coming in is new, I ain't gonna play the video again because that video was long. It was about 5 minutes long, 4 to 5 minutes. I might play it again in a minute. But in the video, they're showing footage, right, of installations being bombed, right? These are cities, right? People's homes, businesses, different governmental structures, and just you know what I mean, plants and warehouses and housing facilities and government, military facilities. How do they have all this footage of all this shit just being bombed? Now I understand they got cameras on the drones and all that. I get all that, but I'm talking about that's today, right? That's today, and then I can make. You know what? I'm gonna make an AI video, right? Just like the ones that you saw in the clip that I played earlier. I'm gonna play an actual footage from the news, and then I'm gonna play mine. And I want y'all, I want y'all to tell me which is the real one and which one is AI. Because I'm at the point now, y'all, where it's like, and this is just my perspective, my thoughts, y'all. I'm at the point now where I think all this shit is Hollywood. I think all this shit is bullshit, right? I've never physically been to most of these countries. I don't know anybody directly from these countries that can tell me, oh yeah, this happened or that happened, or yeah, our house was blown up, and all my cousin, I got family still over there, and they told me da 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 da. Until I have that actual encounter, I assume that it's all bullshit, right? They've been lying. Why would they stop now? I know for a fact that any country, right, that has been invaded, or that someone not from that nation is coming in there, right, waging war on them, right, It's for a reason, and it's 9 times out of 10 they have resources. Otherwise, why the fuck would they be there? If I'm a robber, let me give you a scenario. Dre, what's good? Salute, salute. If I'm a robber, y'all, let's think about this. I'm a robber, right? I rob people for a living. This is how I make a living. This is how I get my money. I take from others. I'm not gonna go to the fucking hood. I'm not going to the trenches, right? To go try to hit a lick. Because it makes no sense. It makes no sense for me to go amongst people that have fucking nothing to try to steal something. They ain't got shit for themselves, let alone got something for me, right? So I'm gonna go to the wealthy areas, right? I'm gonna go to where the resources are, the people with money, right? Cars, jewelry, assets, right? Things that I can take and either sell or that I can use, right? Resources. That's going to be the people in the areas that are well to do, right? The gated communities and these type of areas, right? The suburbs, the gated communities, right? The $1 million homes. That's where I'm going, right? If I'm a criminal, if I'm a robber, that makes sense because they have what I'm looking for. So there's no military going into any country, right? That they don't have no real beef with, and they're just there just because for what? Yeah, we was just walking by, we smelled the food, thought we'd come over here and get. No, you have something they want. It's all about resources. Whatever that resource may be, whether it's oil, whether it's gold, whether it's fuck vibranium, whatever the fuck you want to like, whatever it is, it's a resource, right? And it's something that said party can use, and that's why they're there to take it. So it's like it's some bully shit. We could do this the easy way or the hard way. We could do this shit diplomatically, or we can go to war. We can go the diplomatic route, or we can go to war. What is that saying? I'm gonna dumb it down for you. We could do it the easy way, or we could do it the hard way. It's up to you. You want to do it the hard way? Well, we'll send the drones. You want to do it the easy way? Cool. We set up policies. We set up treaties, right? We got HQ over here. We got a headquarters over here, a satellite operation over here now, right? We call them embassies. Yeah, I got to peep the verbiage, man. You know what I'm saying? I peep the verbiage. I know how to speak legalese, right? So I know what they're saying when they're not saying it, right? I know what they're saying when they're not saying it. So y'all got to peep the play, man. And we got to stop getting caught up in the propaganda and the bullshit, all the lies and the manipulation, and it's all bullshit. It's a TV show. I assume everything that I see on television is fake because it is. The black screen, right? That you have to look at. That TV, right? Which is an acronym for what? Tell Live Vision. That cube is that box, that rectangle up on your wall. I remember back in the day, we used to have them sitting on top. You had an old TV, you had a new TV sitting on top of the old TV. It tells lies to your vision. And you believe that shit. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. Since the Kennedy assassination, it's all bullshit. All this shit is getting exposed. So I assume that all this shit is AI. If they release the AI, they don't give us any technology until it's outdated, right? They're not going to give us anything that we can use against them. So anything that they give us, best believe they got some shit that's 20, 30 years way more advanced than that, right? So if they're giving us AI, and AI has come a long way. I use AI, right? It's come a long way. And just, I would say the past year, right? So you telling me that you if I can make an AI video, anything I can fucking think of, you telling me that they can't do it? You telling me they don't have AI to, come on now. Come on now. Yeah, I seen that video of Netanyahu. Y'all know coffee. I don't even drink coffee, and I know coffee don't move like that. But I digress. I digress. Exactly, Tony. Exactly. It's like just what makes sense to you, right? To your common sense ain't common no more, and that's the problem, right? We will see something, right? You supposed to believe nothing you see. What is it? Nothing you see and half of what you hear, something like that. I'm paraphrasing. I might have said that wrong, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. I agree, Tony. I agree. I agree. I agree. But the issue, Tony, is free thinking, right? I'm starting to see more of it. I will say that. Um, it's not in mass, but there is a large percentage of people who see things for what they are, right? Um, a lot of us are still caught up in the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? We just blind. You know what I'm saying? But in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king, right? So we just got to open our eyes, man. Stop falling for the bullshit, falling for the trick bags and the plays and the propaganda. It's bullshit. It's like once you start digging, you start doing some research. You ain't got to dig that far. Ain't that deep. You can dig it. It ain't that deep. I'm telling you, you can dig it. It's just use your common sense. If the shit don't make sense, it's a reason it don't make sense because it don't make sense. We've been we've been told the same lie for so long that it's like at this point, if you choose to believe it, it's like it's on you, right? But if you tell a lie long, I think who said that? Hitler? I forgot who said it. Somebody said if you tell the lie long enough, you make it believable. You tell a good lie and make it believable. You tell it long enough, eventually people will start to believe it. It'll start to become true. To the point where you can tell a person the truth and they'll get mad at you. And in their mind, you lying to them, but you telling them the truth. Crazy world we live in, y'all. Crazy world we live in. Exactly, Tony. It's a crazy world, man. But it's just funny to me how um I hear people talking about, politics or talking about things that are going on around the world. Um, and they really don't grasp what's really going on and why it's going on. Um, but one thing I will say is this is a time for us um, to come together, right? And when I say come together, we gotta bring family back, man. Cause this shit's all fucked up. right? Inflation wouldn't be as big of an issue as it is if we weren't so divided as a people. And I know some of us just ain't worth a fuck. I'm gonna keep it 100. The majority of us, our families ain't shit. It is what it is, right? But the ones who are worth a damn, right? And it don't have to be your blood relative. You ahead of me, Tony. You jumped ahead of me. I was just about to say, it don't have to be a blood relative, right? I consider y'all my family, right? Like-minded people, my family. I consider my family people who share the same morals, the same principles, right? Um, the same ethics, right? They practice civics, right? Um, when they see me, they see theyself, right? So they would never do nothing to me that they wouldn't do to themselves, right? Um, it's a level of respect, right? It's a level of trust. Um, it's a level of understanding. That's my family. The people who genuinely care about me and share, we share ideologies, right? We share, we don't even have to share belief systems, right? I don't care if you Buddhist, you Christian, you Muslim, you could be an atheist. I don't give a fuck, right? As long as you govern yourself, right? Um, by a set of rules that you've created for yourself, not somebody else, but that you create for yourself, and you stand on that. I can't do nothing but respect that. But that's what it has to get back to, right? We have to bring community back, right? Community. It's no way in hell that you should live next door to somebody and you don't know your neighbor. You don't know their name. You don't know their you know what I'm saying? You like at least know their name, at least speak. I ain't saying you got to be buddy and best friends with them, but y'all should at least know each other. Let's say something happened to my neighbor and the police come knocking my door. Oh, I don't know nothing about that. I ain't got nothing to do with that. But if it was flipped and let's say something happened to your child, my child, right? And my neighbor might have seen something, but they don't want to. It's like we got to bring community back, man. It's a reason why a lot of these children go missing, and it just seems like nobody knows anything. Nobody saw anything because everybody just keeping to themselves. Or I ain't got nothing to do with that. And ain't no way in hell I'm gonna see somebody snatch up a child and just be like, "Oh, that ain't none of my business." Like, you's a bitch ass nigga. I don't respect that shit. Cause let's flip it and let's say it's your fucking child getting abducted. You okay with somebody just being like, "Oh man, I ain't got nothing to do with that"? That's cool with you then, right? Nah. Nah. I don't play that shit, man. Cause I would hope that somebody, another man, right? Another masculine man of principles would see some shit like that and handle his motherfucking business. Cause I'm gonna do the same with no hesitation. I've already done it. I don't know how many children I saved. I ain't got no reward. I ain't been on the news for it. I ain't got no GoFundMe. I ain't nobody, gave me no Citizen of the Year award. None of that shit. And I don't want it. Cause you know what I got? I got respect and I got love amongst my community. I'm good no matter where the fuck I go. Cause I stand on principles. And people respect that. Why? Because it's rare. I can go in hoods and projects and areas that shit, your most glorified rapper or gangster rap, whoever, the most gangstest motherfucker on the planet, they wouldn't dare go. They can't go. And I ain't the most thoroughest nigga on the planet, but shit, I'm real as a motherfucker, and I'm honest and I'm genuine. And that's what's needed. We gotta stop lying to our fucking selves, because it's no way that you can be honest with me if you lie to yourself every day. If you can't be honest with who you are as a man, it's no way in hell that you can be honest with me. If you a bitch ass nigga, you's a bitch ass nigga. If you solid, you solid. It just is what it is. But the issue is it's unbalanced. There's always gonna be suckers. It's always gonna be simps. It's always gonna be weak men. You know what I'm saying? Cowards. They always gonna exist. They always have. But the issue is that the ratio is off, right? They outnumber the real ones. I'm the last of a dying breed. They don't make them like me no more. It's rare that I meet a young man that I see that spark, that fire. You know what I'm saying? It's some of them, right? It's a few of them, but the most of them, I don't see it, man. I don't see it. And a lot of the ones that I see it in, they misguided. Those are the ones we call YNs. Those are the ones that we just, you know, cast off to the side and say, oh, he ain't no good, ain't no hope for him. Like, nah, yes the fuck it is. Them the warriors, them the soldiers. That's the militia. The fuck is you talking about? That's the soldiers. It's a reason why that little motherfucker like to fight. It's a reason why he like guns. It's a reason why he has the spirit that he has. It's in his blood. Now, if he'd had his father in his life, the proper guidance, right? The proper leadership, the proper structure, ain't no telling what that boy could have been. But he was raised up in South Baltimore. He was raised up in East West Baltimore, right? He was raised in Southeast DC. He was raised in Philly, North Philly. He was West Philly. He come from an area where, you know, it's just depression, drug abuse, ignorance, right? Chaos, hell. I done met some of the sharpest, some of the most talented, some of the most interesting young men that I've ever met in some of the most deplorable conditions you could think of. I'm talking about apartments so fucked up you think the wall black and there's roaches. Like, what the fuck? I gotta get the fuck out of here. I thought that they painted the wall. That's fucking roaches. What the fuck? But I don't judge books by their covers, right? Because I done read some amazing books. And if I'd have judged that book off the cover, I'd have never read that motherfucker. Told these Stewies bottle discount. Damn it, they know I'm on live. Can y'all hear me? I got a phone call. I know sometimes it be knocking me off. Let me know in the chat if y'all can still hear me. Oh shit. So I went out and came back in for nothing. Appreciate it, Tony. Appreciate it. Don't call me. No damn well I'm live. One second, y'all. Matter of fact, let me play this video for y'all again. So I'm gonna play that video one more time for y'all. For those who came in late, they didn't catch it. It's a little lengthy. That's why I ain't really want to play it again. But a lot of people wasn't in here at first, so they probably ain't catch it. Or y'all could just run the live back once it posts. But one more time, I'm run it back one more time for y'all.
Get back to Iran, and moments ago, the president issuing a new warning to Tehran posted the following on Truth Social. Here we go. From this point forward, anytime the Islamic Republic of Iran shoots at a ship in the Strait of Hormuz, whether it be a missile, rocket, drone, or any other device or weapon, the United States will bomb and destroy one bridge or power plant, including those located next to or in the capital city of Tehran. Dan Hoffman here to react. And Dan, good day to you. What do you take from that message now as to what's next?
Yeah, well, I think the president has laid down the gauntlet on this one and made it very clear that that if Iran continues to try to disrupt trade in the Strait of Hormuz, that we're going to take action against them. I'm not that sanguine that Iran is going to stop trying to disrupt trade. They're trying to raise the costs of the United States prolonging this war. That's one way for them to do it. The other way that they've been doing it is by targeting our bases in the region, including in Jordan, where 4 of our servicemen were killed.
And Dan, you've served in that region, and so you have a special knowledge and understanding of it. And you've talked about the fact that sometimes we have to reassess that what we're doing is working, not working. We have to be honest about it. Where do you see us potentially pivoting here with what the strategy's been so far?
Yeah, I just look back to the war that Iran and Iraq fought in the 1980s. Over 1 million casualties, chemical weapons. Iran and Iraq never came to the peace table until Iran was too exhausted to fight, and their supreme leader said he had to drink from the poisoned chalice and agree to a deal that he probably wouldn't have wanted to. I think Iran's threshold for pain is pretty high here, and what they want to do is reduce or eliminate altogether U.S. influence in the region, and that's what they're trying to do. For the United States, I think the question for the president is to look to his intelligence community and determine where we can influence Iran's behavior. So far, our military strikes have been extraordinarily successful at degrading Iran's military capability. Yes, they retain enough missiles and drones to disrupt trade in the Strait of Hormuz, but we have destroyed Iran's military. But that hasn't changed the fact that they aren't interested in negotiating in good faith. And the question is whether we have the military capability to induce them to do that, or whether we're going to have to take on the task of destroying Iran's weapons of mass destruction through military means and not pursue negotiations.
Okay, so we'll see whether it's a power plant or a bridge next, or whether that's just a threat for the moment. Meanwhile, you got Pickaxe Mountain. For our audience, the Israelis believe this is where the centrifuges have been hidden. Came up yesterday with Secretary Hegseth.
Do we have the ability to destroy whatever is underneath Pickaxe Mountain?
Senator, a lot of our capabilities are classified, but if anybody in the world can reach anything on God's green earth, it's the United States military, the most powerful military in the world. It's all about options and trade-offs.
Dan, would you expect this?
I do. I think this is a key intelligence requirement. Iran has reportedly been installing centrifuges there. The question is whether they've tried to deliver any of their highly enriched uranium that they might get access to, although that's certainly difficult to Pickaxe Mountain. The additional concern that I would have is that if Iran follows the same playbook that they have with their missiles and drones, then they may seek to disperse these facilities where they install centrifuges and seek to enrich uranium. And so I think it's not just Pickaxe Mountain. We need to be really watching very carefully, using all of our intelligence collection, CIA human intelligence, NSA signals intelligence, overhead reconnaissance, everything we've got, along with our allies in the region, so that we ensure that Iran is not installing centrifuges in other places. It's a large country.
Yeah, and then the question becomes if it would require troops on the ground in operation there. Dan Hoffman, always appreciate your insights. Thank you, sir.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox 1.
Yeah, so Yeah, I broke that down earlier, y'all. I was, um, it just basically helped my stance on my argument on how these global conflicts, you know, cause domestic inflation. But this is one thing I noticed as well, y'all. Um, when they tried to blame the gas prices on, the Straits of Hormuz, what's going on in the Straits, and I'm like, wait a minute, the U.S. has oil reserves out the ass, so, huh? The fuck are you talking about? We got oil, but they can't sell it. Now the question is, why can't they sell it if it's their oil? Let me stop fucking with y'all. But look, man, um, at the end of the day, like I said, we all we got, man. We all we got. Um, it's been everybody against us. It's us against us. We got to stop the bullshit, man. We got to come together, man. We got to bring community back. We got to bring families back. We all we got. We all we got. If all this shit shut down tomorrow, at the end of the day, we all we got. But that's all we need. That's all we need. And that's all we've ever had. Everything else has been an illusion. The illusion of inclusion, right? All the illusions. It's all an illusion. It's all bullshit. It's all fake. We are all we got. And in times of war, in times of conflict, that truth is brought to light, right? So if any of y'all was on the live earlier today without, foreign, American versus foreign, or which do you prefer? That could be problematic, right? Think about for instance, think about these brothers that's overseas, these expats, that I was talking about earlier on Pimps Over Simps. Think about these expats that are in these foreign countries that live there, right? They have citizenship, but they're Americans. Now, I'm pretty sure it's Americans that were, they probably left. I'm sure they were, smart, but we're all over the world, right? So if the U.S. decides to start a conflict with the nation or country that you're residing in, and you're an American citizen, I I can see how that could be problematic for you, right? So it's the same in the States. If you have a wife, a husband, um, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, whatever, you're in a relationship with someone of foreign origin, and there's conflict between the US and that foreign nation, that can cause issues in the relationship, right? Because certain things may take place or may happen that you might not have a problem with or don't care about, or you may have a different view on than you know the other party. They might not like that. They might think you're supposed to side with them. Well, if you love me, you. And it's like, hold up, wait a minute. You know what I mean? Everybody's true colors and true intentions come out when shit get real. When shit get real, right? Them bullets flying, shit people dying, people stealing, people loot. When it's anarchy and when it's chaos, everybody gonna revert back to what they know, which is their own. Everyone must worship under their own vine and fig tree. All these deportations that's happening, everybody has to go home. You think it's over with this birthright citizenship shit? No, it's not. That's one of the biggest finesses and the biggest why do you think all these foreigners want to come over here? You telling me I could come here and have a child, and my child is born here? They get citizenship. They can get benefits. I can get benefits. We can get grants. We can get loans. We can get this and that. Nah, the free ride is over. Exactly, Tony. You might have to. Or you can go back with her. You know what I'm saying? If you really love her, shit. Go back with, hey, she from Haiti, she from Mexico, she from South America, she wherever she from. You know what I'm saying? Lithuania, I don't give a fuck where she from. If you really love her, you will go back with her. But at the end of the day, like I said, everybody has to go home. If you are not from here, if you can't trace your bloodline, your pedigree, your lineage, all y'all dogmen in the chat, y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. You ain't got no papers, right? If I can't trace you back to a source that traces you back to this land, right? That ties you to this land, then you not from here. You from somewhere else, which means you have to go home. It is what it is. The free ride is over. It is what it is. It's a lot going on behind the scenes. They're not going to talk about. They're not going to put out in the public. I think they will eventually. They ain't going to have no choice to. But I think they're going to keep the masquerade going for as long as they can. Now, but it's true, Tony. It's messed up, but it's true, bro. I mean, y'all know me at this point. The new people, y'all gonna get to know me. But you know, all the OG listeners, y'all know, man. Y'all know I don't hold no punches. I don't give a fuck. The truth is the truth. And that's the problem today, is like people get mad at you for telling the fucking truth. I don't give a fuck. What, you want to fight? I said what I said. You ain't gotta like it. But it's the truth. It's the truth. Everybody wants to come here. This is the land of milk and honey. It's not Africa. If Africa is the land of milk and honey, why everybody coming here? I think you got more Africans here than you do in Africa. I tell you what, I bet you it's way more Africans here than it is Americans in Africa. Somebody go look that statistic up. Everybody wants to come here, but at the same time trying to tell us we not from here. But then at the same time can't tell us where we from. I grew up with I told y'all, I grew up with so many foreigners, right? So many foreigners. And a lot of Nigerians, you know, some Ethiopians, different African countries, you know what I'm saying? Tribes and shit. But the majority, damn near all of them have told me when it came up in conversation, when I discuss the so-called transatlantic slave trade with them, right? They don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. If you go to Africa and talk to actual Africans in Africa, right? Any country in Africa, and you ask them, they're gonna look at you like they've never heard of it. So if my ancestry comes from Africa, what tribe was I stolen from? What country? And why didn't my people ever come get me? Why ain't they never come looking for me? And if we are descendants of, we have the same ancestry, why when they come over here, they don't fuck with us? Nobody fucks with us when they come over here. Nobody. They'll prey on you. You know what I'm saying? They'll scam you. They'll finesse you. They'll get some money out of you or with you. But that's it. They don't fuck with us. Nobody fucks with us. I've had an African, I've had a Manchurian, which we call Asian, and it was somebody else that told me. I forgot who the other person was. A Russian. He was from Russia. And all of them told me that during immigration, right, when you go through immigration, they tell them not to socialize with so-called African Americans or American blacks. They told me this out their own fucking mouth. They tell them not to. We can set up businesses in a community. They can do this, they can do that, but don't, deal with them on a personal level, or don't live amongst them, or don't, you know what I'm saying? You can do business with them, like, they can shop with you, open up businesses in their communities, but don't deal with them. All this negative shit. I said, what? And I've heard this story too many times for it to be some bullshit or not true. Random foreigners from different countries telling me the same story. And these people don't know each other. I know them, but they don't know each other, right? So it ain't like they got to go, oh yeah, we're going to tell him that, da-da-da. No. These are random conversations, random people, right? From different countries around the world telling me the same thing. Exactly though, Tony. Exactly. South Africa off the hook right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of things going on, right? In the whole geopolitical arena, right? But like I said, you just gotta see it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? Don't believe the hype. You gotta see it for what the fuck it is. You gotta see it for what it is. But yeah, man, we at that hour mark, y'all. It's been a good build. Hopefully somebody learned something. Hopefully somebody gonna go read something or research something. Oh, homework. Thought you was done, motherfucker. Hell no. Homework for y'all asses. I want y'all to go look up the Chevron doctrine. It's been overturned. Right? I want y'all to look up the Chevron doctrine, right? Do some research on what it is, what it was for, what its purpose was, and what that means in the fact that it's done. It's over with. Say it one more time. There's homework for y'all. To the mob. Chevron doctrine. Also, I want y'all to look up HJR, House Joint Resolution 192. I also want you to look up, I should have had these slides up for y'all too, but fuck that. I ain't doing all the work for y'all. Also look up, there was a letter back in 2014 that Pope Francis wrote to Barack Obama. The civil orders letter in 2014 from Pope Francis to Barack Obama. Look that up. Read that. All right. And y'all had fun with that. Y'all had fun with that. But I'm about to get up out of here, y'all. Y'all be safe. Enjoy your day. do something productive with yourself. And yeah, man, watch out for the hook, man. Watch out for the hook shit. I gotta tell you, watch out for the overhand right at this point. They coming from every angle now. Every angle. But yeah, man, salute the workers, man. Salute the good men out there still putting in the work. You know what I'm saying? And hey, the real gonna prosper, man. Every time. Every time. The real gonna prosper, man. Don't fold. Don't fold. But yeah, man, y'all be safe. Enjoy your day. I'll holler at y'all tomorrow, man. Do your homework. Peace.